I'm Elizabeth at A Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I'm a 6-year PhD candidate in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists. And as you might expect, I love to read. Today I have my January TBR for you, and I can't believe that I'm sitting here talking to you about January 2025. That doesn't sound like a real thing. And also I feel like it basically should still be March. I don't really know where the year went, but away, apparently. It also feels really early to be talking about this, but I think I'm filming on like the 20th or something, so it's really not that early. There's like 10 days, 11 days of the month left. But I am also getting things filmed kind of early because of the holidays, so. I have a fairly short TBR for this month because I am trying to keep things more realistic once again. Did that turn out well last year or 2024? I don't know, but we're gonna try it again. Also because from January to May, I will be still finishing up my dissertation, defending, graduating, and all of that. So I'm like, okay, let's take it easy because things are gonna be stressful. I'm not gonna have a lot of time, you know. So let's jump in. So kicking things off will be my read for my 18th century novel project, and that is Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. This is my second Defoe book. I read Roxana back in my undergrad and really hated it. So, you know, we'll see how this goes. This is a very different book though. This is about a guy that gets shipwrecked on an island, whereas Roxana is about like basically a fallen woman kind of situation. She has affairs and is just really out to like get money, if I remember correctly, and is a terrible person. But, you know, so very different books. And I'm hoping that I will like this one a lot better. So I guess we will see. It's not that long, which is nice to kick off the start of the project with, because some of these are real chunkers, and I'm glad I don't have to deal with a real chunker in January. So next up, we're moving into some Victorian books. I'm doing this in chronological order for some reason. I don't know. So the years they were published. Why? Because I needed an order. And also I only have 2 of these physical books, so, you know. So next up is The Heir of Redcliffe by Charlotte Mary Young. This is one that I wanted to get to in 2024 and didn't, so I'm going to start off 2025 with it. I've heard such great things about this. I don't really know much about it other than it's pretty heavily religious, which kind of all of Charlotte Mary Young's are. And it's apparently about a guy named Guy Morville, who is the titular heir of Redcliffe. So that's what I've gotten. Oh, and he has a cousin who's a jerk. Okay. And there's 2 sisters. All right. It sounds good. It sounds like it will be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. I've really liked everything I've read by Young so far, which is The Daisy Chain and The Clever Woman of the Family. And then for another Victorian novel that I wanted to read in 2024 and didn't, we have Mistress and Maid by Dinah Mullett-Craik. I have no idea what this is about. I can't find a summary. So I'm assuming some kind of domestic realism because that seems to be what Dinah Craik does. I've read 2 other Dinah Craik books, Olive, which I liked, and Bread Upon the Waters, which I hated. So we'll see how this goes too. The last of the classics, we are moving up quite a bit in time and going on to poetry with the collected poems of Sylvia Plath. I'm in my Plath era. If If you've been watching, you know that I'm in my Plath era. I just bought this fairly recently. I read the restored Ariel in 2024, as well as the biography of Sylvia Plath, Red Comet. And I think I read the original Ariel in 2023. So I'm just gonna read not all of her poems because they are not all in here. Ted Hughes. First you're a jerk, then you don't even put all her poems in here. Dick. But I'm really looking forward to this. And I think I tried reading this not long after I had finished reading the restored Ariel. And I was like kind of burnt out from Plath a little bit because I'd also just read Red Comet and I was like, I don't really want to read any more poetry right now. But I think now I've had sufficient rest. I will be able to enjoy this a lot. Move into the 21st century with Marilynne Robinson's Gilead. So Kelly over at Books I'm Not Reading is hosting a read-along of this whole series, and starting in January with the first book. This is a series that I've always been kind of interested in, and I actually think I started reading the third book, Lila, on audiobook, and then wasn't in the mood for an audiobook, which happens a lot. So I am curious to get to it, so I will definitely be participating for January, reading Gilead. I don't know if I'll be continuing on. It depends on if I like the book, which I'm hoping I do. It's a generational story. It goes from the Civil War to the 20th century and is about fathers and sons, apparently. So I'm very intrigued and I hope that I'll like it. I've never read anything by Robinson before other than that small bit of Lila. So we'll see what happens. And finally, we are going to have some fantasy with Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Susanna Clarke wrote one of my absolute favorite books ever, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. So I'm very excited to get to this. I will say though, it is not what I had planned to read in January. I had planned to read the new Emily Wilde book. Because the first book and second book for the past 2 years have come out right at the beginning of January. I had arcs of those. I'm not doing arcs this year, but I figured I'd just be able to buy it on Kindle. But apparently it's not coming out until February, so it's fine. Piranesi, I'm sure will be amazing. I've heard so many good things about it. Just had to do a real quick recalibration in the time that I have cut out of this video, obviously, because you don't all need to see that. But I am excited for this, and I've heard it's so good. And apparently CBS Sunday Morning says it's destined to become a work of classic fantasy. And it won the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2021. So, it'll be great. I'm excited. So, those are my plans for reading in January. Let me know down in the comments below. Have you read any of these? What did you think? What are you planning to kick off 2025 with? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.